everyone, and welcome to Ette's Hobby Corner. I'm here with Sean. Would you like to introduce yourself and your pronouns?
Sure. I'm Sean Hawkins. I'm a he, him gender. And hi.
And we're very excited to have you on today.
Thank you.
And what is your hobby you would like to be talking about?
Well, right now my hobby is UAVs or unmanned aerial vehicles, drones,
Oh.
quadcopters, hexcopters. Um, yeah, that's what I'm into right now.
See, oh, sorry. I sat on my foot and it was numb. Very professional of me. And just before we get completely into it, to my mods, if any of Sean's trolls has followed him, you know what to do. We don't tolerate nasties here.
Yep, this is not the place.
Nope. Wholesome content 101. So
Read the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to put the little ticker on, which is for anybody who would like to ask any questions. And I'll just say, well, we can both say a little quick hello to everybody in the side chat. And then we shall start. Yeah?
Cool. Yep. Hello,
Okay.
side chat.
Hello, side chat. So there's a Tina and a Brainless. There is Carl Edwards. There's Lovely Microraptor. There is Mr. Wonderful. There's Adora, Slim. Oh, where are we? Oh, Dora, Slim, Carl. Who else is here?
I recognize some of these names.
You would. And there's a Tusk and Crafty, Chris Durham, and For No Reason.
Carl Edwards. I recognize his voice or his name.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Oh, thank you, Brainless, for apologizing for your behavior last week. You're allowed out of the naughty corner. There's also Omega and an Irish stew, and I'm being bitten. Okay, so I feel like we should start off with the questions. And my first question to most people is, why is drones your hobby? Like, why do you like it? Like, what's your favorite?
Well, when I was a kid, when I was in high school, I went to for a couple of years. My folks sent me to a private school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of rich kids, a lot of old money. One of the seniors was his dad owned the biggest Cadillac dealer in Ohio. So yeah, this was old money. And for a science fair project, one of the kids brought in his RC planes, a helicopter, a plane, and a car. And back then, just the radio cost like $500, just exorbitant amount of money to get into. I mean, it was really an expensive hobby. And he had the radio, the box with the 10-foot long antenna with the flag on the end of it, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
And he came in and he brought it in his stuff. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, why don't they put a camera on that thing so you can see what it sees and you can fly? And it never happened until a few years ago. And then FPV took over. I mean, they were doing it, but it took like cameras that were this big and monitors that were this big, and you couldn't wear them on your head. And it was just really cumbersome. And as soon as FPV came around, I'm like, I'm getting into this. I mean, as soon as I saw one of those fly, I'm like, I want one, but I could never afford it. But now I can. So, yeah.
That's really neat. Oh, And you have a question from Dora about what is your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. That is a good color of choice. So you said you're building a drone. So what would the first step to building a drone be, other than obviously like drones and get into them?
Well, the first step is to figure out what you want to do with it. There's
Oh.
different classifications. You have they go anywhere from like a micro whoop, which is what they call it, kind of a whoopee kind of thing. Um, and they're about this big. They fit in your pocket. They come in like you can get them in like a little case with a controller. Um,
Oh.
and then you have the whoop series, which is a little bigger. And with those things, you can race them around your house. They're small enough you can set up little obstacle courses in your house and go in and out of rooms and under couches and chairs and stuff.
That's
Uh,
pretty cool.
and then you've got the racing drones, which are usually about this big,
Mm-hmm.
take like a 5-inch, 6-inch propeller, really light, really fast. And then you've got stunt drones, which are kind of like racing drones, except they can do tricks and stuff. They're set up to do acrobat or aerobatics. And then you've got FPV camera drones, and then the larger class, what I'm working on, and then the heavy lift, which is like
Mm-hmm.
cinema cinema drones.
I was going to say,
That
don't
carry the
worry, I struggle with that word
big
too.
cinema, big movie equipment. I mean, cameras
Mm-hmm.
that film, in 8K and stuff like that. And they're usually like 10 foot wide, 10 props, stuff
Oh.
like that. Very, very heavy lift. And then you also have agricultural and uh, industrial purposes where you take a drone and you can scan an area with LiDAR, create a 3D model of the area that you're flying in, or you can do inspections of towers or buildings or stuff like that. So they have a really wide use. So first you settle on what you want to do with it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a photographer, so I chose a photo drone. I'm not a racer. I used to have one and I couldn't fly that thing. Kept crashing and just wasn't. That's a young man's game. Racing drones. That's for kids and that have agile minds and stuff. But I chose a camera drone, something that could hold a camera, and
Mm-hmm.
went from there. And then you either buy one pre-assembled or you can buy a kit. And there's different grades of kits. You can get ones that are halfway built. You just assemble them, or ones where you have to do the wiring and everything yourself and
Mm-hmm.
solder everything up. And that's the route I choose. It's a little less expensive.
It must feel really good once you finally get all the pieces together and get all
Yeah,
soldered, and it
I'm
must
still
take quite some time.
I'm still waiting on pieces. A lot of the lesser expensive equipment comes from China, and that takes
Mm.
like a month to get here. So I'm still waiting on
Oh.
one more component from China, and I should be able to fly it. It's the controller for the landing gear. It even has landing gear that go up and down, and
That's pretty
it's
neat.
pretty cool. Yeah.
I still need to learn what's the word when it comes to these things? Patience when it
Yeah.
comes to waiting on the mail.
Yeah. Yeah. Patience is a virtue in this, especially when
Mm.
you're dealing with China, and you can't. They won't ship anything faster either. I mean, I've offered to
No.
pay them more money, and now we're putting in an envelope. What they do is for smaller stuff, like stuff like this or
Mhm.
other stuff like that, they they rent or they lease a container. All the companies in Shenzhen, China, lease a shipping container, and when that
Oh.
thing's full, they ship it.
I mean,
So
fair enough. If
yeah,
it's full, it's full.
yeah, and that's how you can get the free shipping, because they take a few pennies out of everybody's order that goes into renting the container, but it's when that thing's full, or when they have a time limit, I guess, on a maximum shipping time. So it's kind of frustrating, but And I've gotten stuff as soon as a week from China.
Oh.
So it all depends on, how close to their shipping date that that you buy the stuff.
Hmm.
So there's a window of opportunity to get your stuff out.
See, just I got tasked a little tiny TARDIS thing that I thought was going to be quite a sophisticated drone, and it was not. It it flew into the wall and died pretty
Uh,
much instantly.
yeah, yeah. With the cheaper drones, you got to watch because sometimes they aren't as good as the more expensive one, but they're fun.
um, where are we? Where are we? Carl Edwards would like to tell you this. It's not a question, but it's a statement.
Okay.
He says, I admire Sean for the varied things that he has done and shows. Oh no, the dreaded word that I struggle saying. I can't say that word.
Which one is it?
Shows an inquiry,
Inquiring.
that one.
Yep.
Mind pity more people can't do that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
I found that smart people try and learn a new thing every day. Dumb
Mhm.
people try and forget a new thing every day. So
Oh god, I forget things, but I do try and learn things at the same time, so
yeah,
I don't know where that makes me.
I think it's everybody's duty to learn, to educate themselves and be a better person. It's how we grow as a community.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, Mark says, how long before all our deliveries are done by drones?
I don't know. Um, Amazon's already using them.
Do
Uh,
they?
yeah, yeah. They're in some cities. The stuff's in the drone, and I guess they have a crane, like a little
Mm-hmm.
lowering thing where they fly over your house. They lower it, let it go, and the thing flies off. Some cases they don't even land. I don't think so.
Oh,
You can't like grab one. I'm pretty sure they've got safety measures that if you try and steal a drone, it just won't work.
imagine trying to steal the drone without any of the tools to make it go.
Yeah, and I'm
But you
sure
can
they're all
maybe
GPS.
hardwire
I'm pretty sure they're all they have to be GPS tracked, so they know exactly where that thing is.
it. um, Mr. Penguin does also have another question, which is, I would like to inspect the panels on top of my second-story house, but I live in a Class C airspace. Can I use a drone?
Um, I'm not sure. I've not really gotten into where I can and can't fly. I'm in I don't really have to know right now because we don't have an airport near us, so there aren't any restricted airspaces around me. But I can look it up real quick.
Oh,
Let's see, airspace from the surface to 4,000 feet above the airport elevation. So you should be okay. Uh,
oh,
surrounded. Let's see. It says generally airspace from the surface to 4,000 feet above the airport elevation, charted in mean sea level, surrounding those airports that have an internet or operational control tower, are serviced by radar approach control and have a certain number of IFR operations. Do you need? Let's see. Do you need permission to enter Class C airspace? You don't need clearance or any permission to enter Class C, D, or E controlled airspace.
oh.
No permission is needed to enter, but a two-way communication with your tail number must be established. That communication may well consist of N1234. And so basically, you just have to tell them that you're flying in their airspace, I believe. You might want to double check that. Don't take my word for gospel, but you should be able to contact them and I mean, 400 feet is the maximum ceiling for a non-professional drone.
Mhm.
So actually, it'd be 400 feet above the building, because the top of that, whatever you're inspecting or whatever your focus is,
Mhm.
that's the top of that becomes zero. So 400 feet above that. So if I'm doing the Empire State Building, I can go 400 feet above that.
Oh,
So that's like really high.
that's really
Yeah.
high.
But you will need to have one of these at least. If your drone is heavier than 250 grams, this is
Uh-huh.
my certificate of registration, and I have to
Ah,
keep this on me when I fly. If a
and
drone is
how
heavier than 250 grams, you have to register it. And if you want to
that
do
makes
anything
sense.
commercially, if you want to make money or work with it, you have to get a uh, drone pilot's license.
Oh,
So you actually have
so
to test and learn FAA regulations and stuff like that.
mhm.
So, and it costs like $168. And if you don't
That's
pass,
not too bad,
you don't get
right?
your money back, huh?
Oh, I was about to say that's not too bad, right? And then you said the second part, and I was like, oh,
Yeah, but I mean, if you study for it and you're ready for it, it should be no problem.
hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's. I remember when I took my ham test, a ham radio test. If you don't pass it, you get a second chance to take it. Uh, and if you pass it the first time, you get to take
Mhm.
the next level test, which is kind of cool. So you kind of get two tests out of one. So
Hmm.
everybody who starts as a ham is always instructed to, or if you're studying to take the test,
Mhm.
study to take two tests. So if you pass the first one, you can go ahead and take the second test.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. And the problem
Uh,
is I'd have to travel like 150 or 200 miles to go take the test. So I pretty much want to be sure that I'll pass it the first time.
well, I have always struggled with tests and stuff. I get a little overwhelming, but
Yeah.
if you know your stuff about it, you should be good.
Yeah. I used to freeze up on tests. I knew all the information like in high school, but yeah,
Yeah.
test time came and I was an idiot.
No, don't say that about yourself. See, when I think because I spent the first few years in high school and school taking tests, but I was undiagnosed with my dyslexia and dyspraxia. It took it took a lot of brain power to even read the questions, let alone
Mm,
answer them with information that I panicked and fell out my head.
yeah.
But it was much better when I was diagnosed because that meant I could get a reader and a scribe. So it meant that like the person would read the questions out for me and then I told them the answer and they would write the answer down so that my writing would be legible.
Cool. Good. That's a good way to do it.
I was one of the lucky few that was able to get them during high school. Other
Good.
than that, I was just left to my own devices in the back of the classroom.
Yeah. School bored me. I mean, I knew
mm,
the information. I mean, I knew it. I knew it. My parents knew I knew it because they quizzed me before a test. But I froze up. I mean, I knew it, but I don't need to know when the Battle of 1812 was. I don't need
that's
to know
true.
that. There's no reason for me to know that. I didn't need to know a lot of stuff, but you had to learn it. And just
Mm.
going through the tedium of learning stuff that I know I'll never use just bored me. So
Yeah, it does drive you a little bit mad.
yeah, yeah, the United States needs to go to a trade system like they have in the UK, where you have trade schools. I One of my favorite movies when I was younger was Gregory's Girl, and they went to a trade high school. I mean, they actually learn to trade, learn how to work, learn how to do something, productive instead of learning English,
Mm.
learning everything you have to do and then going to school to learn a trade after. I mean, that's just insane. You need to train people younger when they can absorb the information.
Mm.
So I think a lot of kids would be happier in an environment like that.
I would have for sure. Um, I excelled in my sewing classes and stuff like that, and I've actually been using them to make masks
Cool.
for
Yeah.
my friends and family.
Right there, I made that one.
Oh, you did? That's
Yeah.
cool.
I sew. I get teased a lot about that, but I sew.
Hmm. You shouldn't get teased about it. It's very practical.
Wow.
And
Trolls like to pick.
well, trolls can go in the bin.
Hmm.
I feel like everybody should learn how to at least sew the holes in their jumpers and put buttons on.
Yeah, absolutely. In World War One, every soldier was required to learn how to knit their own socks.
Hmm.
In
I
England,
feel
at
like that's
least,
really, really
not
helpful.
not in the United
And
States, but yeah, in England, they had to learn how to knit their own stuff just so they could have their own gear. Of course, a
I'm
lot of people,
sure
women would send them stuff and
mm, that's
provide for
true.
their kids. But yeah, it's every kid needs to know how to sew on a button, how to patch a hole, how to
Hmm.
change a tire, how to change
Hmm.
the oil in a car, just how to do
Oh,
basic stuff, how to
hmm.
boil water. Some kids take
And
10 pots to boil water to make soup. So,
I realize we went a little bit off drones, but like
yeah,
also it's a very
sorry.
important thing. No, no, don't be sorry. It's very important. Everybody, if you don't know how to sew, there's lots of videos on YouTube, and hey, who knows? We might start a sewing channel.
Well, sewing's a hobby. Hold on, I'll be right back. I just
Okay.
saw pearl fish do a comment.
Ooh. Okay. Oh, I shall. Which one? There was a couple of questions somewhere, but I've missed them. If your question has not been asked, give me a shout. Um,
Yeah, I'm back. One of the things
welcome
I
back.
I learned to sew uh, like 5 years ago, back when the
Uh-huh.
whole like Utilikilt, Americanized kilt craze happened. The denim kilts, and they got
Whoa,
pockets instead of
a sporan?
a bag of sporin. Yeah, they're completely Americanized, and they're really, I mean, awesome looking. They're not traditional at all, but they're American looking. They're look like a biker would wear. So I made a couple of those for myself, and
Well, that's cool.
in order to not have my legs and feet get cold, I made these.
Oh,
This is actually like the fourth pair I've made of these,
nice and
but
cozy looking.
yeah, they've got the garter top and a
Ah, like a good
nice pattern.
Scottish
Can't
pair of
really.
socks.
Yeah, they're actually kilt hose. They're actually traditional kilt hose. So
As a Scottish person, I appreciate that.
yep. And when you wear them, the ribbing on the back, you can't really see it, but it comes to a dagger. It's like a dagger on the back. So yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And there's another pattern I wanna try that it's nothing but cabling. It's like, yeah, really, really intense. But knitting is way too tedious for me now. It just takes too much
It is.
brain power, too
It
much time.
can do. And I made a corset um many years ago now because I did a little bit of costume design. Oh my goodness, do I never ever want to do a corset ever again?
Yeah, they're
It's the boning and trying to
involved.
sew around that. And the brain power it took to put it all together and then make sure that the person didn't get hurt by the wires on the inside.
Mm-hmm. Talking about the bones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sewing's like everything else. If you take your time and follow directions, you can do something nice. And there's tricks you can learn, tricks you can use. And if you know the tricks, then yeah.
Mm-hmm. The bit that took me too long to actually figure out was the invisible stitch. That took me far too long. It's a little bit embarrassing.
Invisible hem, those are fun. Where you fold it up, flip it
Mhm.
inside out, and fold it down, and then stitch just the edge of it. So when you
Yeah.
flip it around, it just has little bitty dots. Yeah, I know that.
It was fun, but it was really stressful.
Yeah.
Hey,
And they have attachments for that now, where you put the attachment on, and it won't let the material get any closer, so it just takes a little nick out of it.
Oh, well.
Just make a little bite.
I need to get involved in that then.
Oh. Anyway, enough of sewing.
we
the topic is back on drones.
We should change the description to drones with a little bit of stitching.
Dora asked a question when.
Yeah, let's pop that up.
What does Sean own and/or building now? Oh,
yeah. Let's see. If you would like.
Actually, to unplug it. This is it. It's 680 millimeters from here to here, so it's about 2 foot wide, and the arms unfold. See if I can do this.
Oh, so, they're so much more robust.
Yeah. And the propellers are 12 inches. So all in all, it comes out to be about a 4 foot wide. Or it's 3 foot wide without the propellers, so it's 4 foot wide. It's about the same size as the one on Mars.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Parafish is asking, is it a hex?
Yes, it's a hexacopter. Or a hexa is as they call it, as the kids say. And this is my radio. It's a Radio Master TX16S.
I'm scooching forward.
Welcome to the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. Angle mode enabled.
That's Gladys.
I love Gladys.
Yeah, that's
Bring your daughter to work day is the best day to get her tested.
Yeah, here you go. Hold on.
Hello, and again, welcome to the Aperture Science Enrichment Center. Angle mode enabled.
Now I can.
Angle mode. Angle mode enabled.
Yeah.
Horizon mode enabled. Would you turn around? Is that possible?
So.
Oh my goodness, I love that so much.
Just the way you control it. This is a throttle. This is a yaw, left or right. Yaw is like this way, and then you got forward and left and right. Roll this way.
Oh.
So you got four axes of control. When it's done, I'll be able to hit a button and it'll climb to a certain altitude, and I can plan in a route in a program called Mission Planner, which takes advantage of the GPS and tells the drone where to go on the map.
Oh my goodness.
And then when it's done, it'll automatically return home and land for me. So, and eventually I'm going to have a optical flow unit on the bottom, which is basically just a camera, kind of like what is on one of these. So this thing basically takes a picture, or the old mice that had the camera on the bottom. It basically takes a picture of your mouse pad. It knows which way it's moving, so it knows which way the mouse is moving. So they just took that technology, put it on a drone, and it knows where the ground is, and it knows whether it's being still or not. So eventually I'll have that on there. And when the drone comes in so high off the ground, the landing gear will automatically open up, and so I don't have to hit the button for it. It's going to be pretty cool.
That is pretty cool already.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I'm getting older. I need something to have fun with in my declining years. So I choose something that a lot of old people do. Ham radio is too expensive to get into. A professional class ham radio will go for about 10 grand. I don't have that kind of money, but I do have enough money for a good carbon fiber drone.
Yeah. So. How long has it taken you to build that drone?
Well, so far about 2 months, a little longer.
Oh, so this is a long-term project.
Yeah. I could have saved my money and bought a pre-assembled one, but I can't save money. I really have a hard time saving money, but I can buy lesser expensive things, here and there. So that's the route I took. And I waited a month for the flight controller, the computer for the drone, the thing that tells it what to do. The one I got was faulty, so I had to call them, and they sent a new one, which took another month. And I'm still waiting on a part for the landing gear controller. So it's taken a while.
See, it'll get there when it's ready. Just when you're like, where is that? And then it'll just go bing bong at your door.
Yeah. I've been on, I've waited for weeks for something, and then when I'm on the phone calling the people, I hear the mail. I'm like, oh, there it is. Never mind.
I retract my statement. Thank you.
Dora. Is it design? Is it
the design you are building, Sean? Or are you just thinking up?
Well, it's good. I bought the thing as a kit. I think that's what you're asking. I bought it as a kit, so it was basically pre-designed. So I didn't really design it. I just chose from options of different designs. I could have picked an octocopter or a quadcopter or whatever, but I chose Hex just because it has enough propellers for what I need, have just enough lift, and it's stable. It's a little more stable than a quad. And but yeah, I haven't even finished this one, and I'm already thinking about the next one. So, but I will be designing that one and going from scratch. I think that's what you're asking, isn't it?
I believe that's what she's asking. Yes. And Carl Edwards, not a Carl, the Carl Edwards, is also asking, please ask Sean if he's going to use the drone for fancy stuff like taking aerial photos.
Yeah. Yep. I plan on it. Like I said earlier, I'd have to get licensed for it. The FAA is cracking down. They've started harassing like YouTube content creators that show just drone footage of them flying. Even if their channel isn't monetized, YouTube is still making money off of it. So there's profit being made off your videos. So you have to have a license to do that, even though somebody else is getting the money. Yeah, it's.
Do I need to start looking into that now?
Only if you got a drone and you're showing footage. I don't even. It might not be for like racing drones, but I don't know. It's they're being stinkers. But yeah, hopefully, eventually. One of the things I want to get for it is a what's it called? I don't know the exact name. It's made by Samsung, and it's a 360 camera. It's got two cameras facing opposite each other.
I've seen somebody do a video with that.
So, and they're the the cameras that you take the footage with, where you can look around with your phone. It's basically VR. And I should be able to post those on my channel, and people will be able to see wherever they want to while I'm flying. So it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Now I could probably post the stuff on like Facebook, and nobody's making money there. So it just when you put it on YouTube, that's when it gets a little fuzzy, because someone's making money. but since it's your video, you have to have a license for it. It's just stupid. It's dumb.
It's all about money now, huh?
Yeah. Well, it's like when I was living on that mountain. In order to dig for quartz crystals, I was a hippie back then. And in order to dig for like the cool hippie crystals, that people wore around their neck and shit, I pulled some nice big clusters out. You had to have a license to dig, to mine on Mount Ida, Arkansas. License was free, but you had to have a license. If you didn't have a license, they could fine you for not having a free license. That didn't take a test or anything. You just had to have a license.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
I suppose if you didn't go for that step, anybody could be doing it, and
yeah.
But it is also like, and maybe it's their way of regulating it.
Yep, it's regulation. It's knowing where everybody is and keeping track of everybody. And most of the people that mine the crystals up there are just homeless hippie guys. So it's another way to harass them, just to hassle them.
That's not good.
Nope.
Oh.
So what hobbies are you into?
Oh, me? Oh my goodness. Here we go. I'm into loads of different things. Like literally, I like to paint rocks, which sounds ridiculous, but I really do. I like to game. I like to read manga. I watch anime.
Cool.
I do makeup, but makeup as in drag makeup and illusion and makeup, like wounds and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And yes, the brainless, don't worry, I do play GTA. We play GTA all the time, me, brainless, and Tina.
Right on. Yeah, I'm more of a squad player. I like the FPS shooters.
I've never played that.
Shoot 'em up, bang bang. It's fun, and I like Fallout 4. That's one of my favorites.
Oh, when I worked in the shop, I sold it, but I never played it.
Yeah, it's fun. It's one of those games where they just keep building on it and building on it, keep putting out mods that it's just endless. It's one of those things that people re-download and install several times over their lifetime, because it's just they come out with something new and it's like, I got to try that. So, and GTA is fun. I played that when it first came out on like PlayStation or Xbox or whatever.
I've only played this GTA 5 on the PS4. There's lots of people appearing now.
Yeah.
And Tiny, yes, I paint happy stones, but I made Tusk a demon stone that was worshipping Satan. Standard to go in the garden. I do make pride stones as well, so they're all different colors of the pride flags and the different pride flags.
Cool. I got a bone to pick with the pride flag. That's only 6 colors. The rainbow is 7.
Wait, what?
The rainbow is 7 colors. Roy G. Biv. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. But the pride flag is only 6 colors. It's leaving out the indigo.
Technically, it's not now, because the new pride flag is more inclusive, and
is
that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh, okay. I think that's where the Indigo Girls got their name, because that was
Really?
the one. I think that's the one. I this is just me speculating,
Mhm.
but that's the one color that was left out of the flag.
There is blue.
So, well, yeah, blue is not, but yeah, indigo
It's
blue.
not the same
Yeah,
shade,
indigo's
but
more of a a greenish blue than a royal blue.
hmm.
It's a darker blue, so a little more on the cooler side. But yeah, I think they chose that name because that's the one color that wasn't in the flag, so they were providing that color through their
Oh,
name. So I
we're
don't
gonna
know.
have to research that and see. I
I'd
mean,
like to go to I'd like to go to their house once and just be greeted at the door. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to our house.
I mean, I don't remember what the colors all represent off the top of my head, but each color on the pride flag represents a different thing.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I
Hmm.
just thought it was just the rainbow and that was the
Mm-mm.
representation. So it's actually like an anagram.
Yeah,
So
I'll
okay,
have to
like
look it up at some point and I'll send you it. But I know green is meant to be like nature and stuff.
okay.
From what I remember, actually, it might be different now. Oh goodness. Yes, improvement the flag.
And it's there's a lot of funny stuff. The right likes to mock and say
Oh,
LGBTQRPJML, like that.
um,
But
um,
and they say
I
it because it changes all the time. But it does. In San Francisco on Mission Street, they have the LGBTQ center,
yeah,
but it a few years ago it was they were just including a lot of the other genders. So
yeah.
yeah, their sign actually changed like almost every
Uh-huh.
day. It would add
Well,
a new letter every day. So
that's why I like to call it either the Alphabet Mafia because that's a fun name for them,
yeah,
and well, us because I'm included in that.
right on.
And or I like to call them the Rainbow Connection. I think it's much easier,
yeah,
but it's there's 26 letters in the LGBTQ plus, and I bet there's more than that as well because it makes people feel better. I mean, there's not one type of shoe for one person, so there's
right.
not one type of, I don't know, being part of the Rainbow Connection for someone.
Mhm.
So everybody wants to feel included, which I feel is nice.
Yep,
But it would be easier if we just said the Rainbow Connection.
yep. And actually, there's 27 letters in
Is
the
there
alphabet.
27?
Mhm. In the English alphabet.
Oh,
Ampersand, the and symbol is an
oh
actual
yeah.
letter. It's
Oh,
the name of the letter is an A per. Let's see, a and per se is an and percent, or
oh,
it's an a per something like that. But it's describing what it represents. So it's an and per se. So it's an and. So they just add what it's an and per se and ampersand. So something like that. It's
oh.
if you looked it up and read, what the ampersand, yeah. But it's ampersand is a bunch of words jammed together
Mm-hmm.
that mean ampersand. So yeah, it's the 27th. And there used to be more. There used to be all kinds of squiggly letters and stuff. If you look in a lot of old English
Oh,
texts, you can see all those different like hyphened little shortened words that
uh-oh.
just a word represents a symbol. So there used to be like 30 or something. And
Oh
you can make up
dear.
your own. There's nothing that says you cannot make up your own. You can add your own letter. Like if you use the word go to a lot, you can make a little symbol that means go to and that's a new letter. You can use that.
That's
No one will
it.
understand it, but you can use it.
I'm gonna do that now.
Have your
I'm
own
gonna make
special
it.
little word.
Yeah. I'll create it as a sense of self.
There you go.
And what are you? Oh, I'm just feeling a little lit today.
It may catch on. Other people may use it. That's the way language is. If people start using a word long enough, it's in the dictionary.
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Well, I did know that. I'm saying that as if I didn't know I did.
But anyway, we're getting off
drones,
topic.
huh? Drone. we're good at that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a
Yeah.
I'm a or not PTSD, AS what? Hyper. I was hyper as a kid. I was one
Yeah.
of the first people that they tried Ritalin on.
Oh.
And today a dose of Ritalin is like 5 milligrams per day.
Uh-huh.
They were giving me 250 milligrams 3 times a day.
Oh dear.
A lot.
And the side chat says ADHD.
ADHD, yeah. Yeah.
And yes, I believe it was my for no reason who said, didn't Prince do that with his name? Prince did do that with his name.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
He created a symbol for his name and people used it.
Shall we see if there's any more questions about drones or making drones?
I had just one more thing before we get back to that.
Oh yeah, sure.
In a commune I lived at, they it was traditional to create a nickname, a new name you want the community to use.
Yeah.
Especially if 2 people had the same name. If you came in and somebody else had your name, you had to change your name. So they want anybody to have the same name.
Oh.
One guy changed it to he didn't like people yelling at him. So he changed his name to PTK. Pronounced.
Oh.
It's impossible to yell that. You cannot yell.
That's actually quite smart. I don't like people raising their voice to me at all.
And another guy changed his name to Xylon 4. XYL3 LON4. The 3 is silent.
Oh, of course. It would be absurd if it wasn't.
That's brilliant. To me, that's brilliant. They include numbers in a name, and then they make one of them silent. That's just brilliant. Anyway, back to drones.
Oh, wait. Dora says, forget the drones, Sean. It's much more interesting subject.
Okay. But yeah, ask some questions. I'd like to answer some.
Yeah, ask away. Brainless also said, it's Hobby Corner, the most off-topic stream. I beg to differ, though. I do. I don't think we're the most off-topic that we could be. We're still wholesome, and we're keeping it that way.
No.
If it was less than wholesome, then it would be off-topic. But, wholesome hobbies and things that interest people is the topic.
Yep.
It was just loosely around drones.
Yeah, I get off topic a lot.
Don't you worry yourself at all. I'm just happy that you're getting excited about what you're talking about. So, do you have more than one drone, or is this just the only one you have just now?
Just this one. I had one about 3 years ago. It was a little racing drone, but like I said, I wasn't good at it at all.
Yeah. I don't have enough hand-eye coordination. You should see me trying to drive in GTA.
This one you don't really have to drive it. You can just set it to fly around and take pictures and stuff. And they're really nice. There's different flight modes. You have like acro, which is acrobatic mode, which wherever you move the stick, that's how it's going to move, and you have to move it so it's back upright.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where you can do flips and rolls and stuff like that.
Oh.
And then you've got like stable mode, where if you move it left, it'll move left, and then it'll stop and it'll upright itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got different modes. There's like 6 different flight modes, and so if you have trouble flying, you just flip it into a mode and it'll stabilize itself, and you just move it around. So it's hard to crash one in a stable mode.
Mm.
And eye coordination doesn't really come into play in some flight modes.
Oh, I have been asked a question. I'm really good on a motorbike, but I much prefer sitting in the back, mainly because it's comfier. I like to get snuggled up and cuddle onto someone. Who doesn't like that? But a car, however, I'm going to say that my ex tried to teach me how to drive, and I kind of screamed almost the entire time, because a deer ran out, and that really scared me, and it kind of traumatized me. So shall we say pending? My driving skills are pending, unless we're talking about being on the back of a motorbike or on a motorbike, because I'm good at that.
I used to own a motorcycle.
Did you?
They're fun. I don't like them for like that being my only transportation, but they're fun.
It's not fun if you have to be, well, when it's windy or not nice weather. It's not very good. It's not the most ideal mode of transport in Scotland.
No, it's a lot. It's really wet, rainy. Yeah. Except you got is that Scotland? Isle of Man?
I think it's its own place, I believe.
Yeah. They got
Where
the TT.
the TT.
Those guys are nuts. I mean, those guys are honestly insane people. I mean, a lot of those guys take place in GT races, motorcycle GT. They have to cancel, teams have to cancel races because their driver died like the day before on the TT. That's insane.
My brother went there to help out because one of his friends was on it. I kind of avoid more TT, to be honest. I like watching it, but it gives me the fear after coming off the back of a bike a couple of times. If I see somebody crash, I'm like, oh. Like, ask Tusk. That's like the one thing I don't like to watch. I don't like to watch bike crashes.
Well, that's all I watch them for.
Oh
no. That's a guy thing.
I really do. Talking about Guy, I like Guy Martin. He's good.
Mm-hmm. Who's the Italian? Oh shoot!
I don't know. I kind of just watch it afterwards.
Yeah, I can't remember. He's good. I like a couple of those racers.
Yeah, they do have the highest death rates. Mm-hmm. They're crazy. And bye for now, Keela. I'll talk to you later. Sorry, Keela was just heading, so we had to say bye-bye.
Oh, no problem.
I'm seeing if there's any questions.
Yeah, I used to live in Germany, so I know what weather is.
Oh,
Yeah.
they know too.
Yeah. They had a cartoon in the Stars and Stripes one time where it said the evolution of a soldier in Germany, and it showed boots, and then the boots sort of just frame after frame evolved into duck feet.
I do. There's something about the German language I do really appreciate. And the only word I really remember is Meerschweinchen, which is guinea pig, which directly translated is little pig from the sea.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite German word is Selbstbedienungsgeschäft.
Oh.
Means self-serve gas station.
Of course it is. They don't make like a new word for what it means. They just add words on, and it just slowly gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and Germany, I like it because they have words for emotions.
Mhm.
For it's not really words for emotions. It's like
Oh.
Schadenfreude. It's like an attitude or an emotion that you have towards something. It's really strange. Germany's like one of the only languages that does that. You know, they make a word for how you feel, an emotion you feel. So instead of like just happy, they actually like classify it even further.
Wow.
So Schadenfreude is just enjoying the misery of others.
Oh,
Basically,
my.
what it is. When you see someone you really hate and they fail, you're like, ha, 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 that's Schadenfreude.
Ah, see, that's pretty
Yeah.
neat. That is neat.
Yeah, like bra instead of just saying brassiere or having a new word for brassiere, it's Bustenhalter, bust halter.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I like to call it an upper decker flopper stopper. But that's sometimes tricky to get out.
Yeah.
Watching bike crashes.
Leidvermak. Yeah, Dutch is really close to German.
Oh.
It's all came from the same language area.
That I am. I'm struggling enough with English. and I'm trying my best to learn Polish because of my family now in Poland. But I'm not a linguist.
I watch Rick and Morty. That's one of my favorite cartoons now.
Ah, see. Oh, you go on. Your turn.
Rick wanted to take Morty on a trip, and he says, "Come on, Rick, I've got an English class tomorrow." And he goes, "Dude, you speak English? How stupid are you?" So you speak the language. Why are you having to learn it?
I mean, I get it, but the one you've derailed my train of thought now too.
That's a funny show. That's so funny on so many levels.
Yep.
Ask questions.
Yeah, people.
Guys.
Yeah. Let's all get involved. Apparently, we're pretty derailed anyway, so apparently the questions are not just about drones.
Yeah.
But we're keeping it on wholesome topics.
Oh, I saw someone else in here. Who was that?
Who you recognizing?
John Watson.
Oh.
Saw him in here.
I never noticed him.
I wanted to. I think I saw him here. He was John Watson. There he goes.
Oh, sorry.
I'll have your thing in the mail in 2 days. I'm waiting for all the money to clear on PayPal, and then we'll get it in the mail for you. So he's one of the reasons why I'm able to do this. So.
Oh, well, Well, thank you.
Yeah, him and Bob, the science guy.
Oh,
He's the one that bought my telescope equipment, and he's putting it to very good use. I just don't have the motivation to do that, to get out at nighttime all night and stay up, and too old for that. Too lazy for that. So he bought it, and he's actually using it and producing some awesome imagery of space
wow.
and stuff. So,
Well,
but
that's good. It's
yeah,
nice when you sell your things on to happier homes, like that you see all
absolutely.
the goodness.
Yeah, it's kind of like a guy that selling his Corvette, wants to make sure it goes good. You can't buy this car, man. No, not you. You're gonna mistreat her.
I get that. Oh, to I'm not gonna pretend I know. So I don't know. Do you know?
I can pronounce it if I see it, but I don't know it by. I mean, Glongloch. That, if, yeah, I can't
Oh,
even.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's look it up. Hold on.
Tina's the person to ask. Oh no! If she finds we're saying it wrong, we're gonna get in trouble.
Wales.
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is.
And
After
that.
Yeah, I can't even begin to.
Yeah. Tina. Oh wait, this one first. See, I just say ogogok. Oh no.
How do I comment in the chat?
I don't know.
There's no text place. Oh well. Yeah, there it is. Tina Jones got it. That's what I was gonna.
Either on YouTube, I think you must have to do that because I don't know if you can do it via this unless you're me.
Okay.
Oh, there's a Tina. It didn't need an extra letter. It was fine the way it was.
Just a W.
Yeah, where was where is there room for another W?
You missed a lot of vowels.
I don't think that's Tina
A
that
lot
did
of
that.
vowels listed in there.
Oh yeah, Mark says you'll have to open the stream on the YouTubes. Do you want me to
Okay.
send the link in the private chat so you can do that easier?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the. Oh, here it is. Chat with the host and other guests. There it is.
Oh. I sent it in the private chat just in case you needed a little bit of help there. So, okay. A day in the life of Sean. What do you do?
There we go.
You wake up in the morning, then what?
Wait, what was the question?
A day in the life of Sean. So you get up out of bed.
I get up out of bed.
Yeah.
When do I do that? When do I do that?
So he stays in his bed.
When I get out of bed, I do a lot of stuff. I do a lot of stuff from the bed. I just feel more comfortable there, and it's
a
my
nicer
safe space.
See, mine's is my tent.
Most of the live streams I do, I'm in sitting on my bed. So
okay. So you don't get out of bed. You wake up,
check email, check YouTube for comments, and yell at people. Have a cup of coffee, eat something, just hanging out. I don't have a job, so I'm disabled. I'm a disabled military vet. So I just think of stuff to do. Just trying to fight boredom, I guess. Watch TV, and I don't even have a TV. This is my TV right here. So
wait, I'm on your TV.
I haven't owned a TV for 15 years.
See, we only use the TV for the PS or watching the Netflix
Right
on the TV. It exists in the house, but we don't actually watch it.
Right on. Yeah, it's good to limit yourself to stuff. I remember, when I had TV and living at home and stuff. I remember just falling asleep watching a movie or like on Saturday.
Mhm.
Then you're kind of drifty, kind of wake up and you see the same people on the screen, but they're in a different movie.
Yeah, and you're like, what?
And you're like, you're lost, and you're like, oh well. And then you go to sleep, and a lot of networks used to do this. They play movies with the same people in them, sort of. So you wake up again, and now they're in Egypt. What is going on here? Yeah, it's fun. I used to love watching Saturday television napping. That was one of my favorites.
Dart's wanting us to show something, but I don't trust it. I don't know how to do that, Dart, but
It used to be
you can
that
share it in my Discord.
it used to be like we didn't have the internet. We didn't have reruns on demand. People would say, "Hey, did you see the new? Did you see Blossom?" I said, "No, I didn't," and I probably will never
Yay.
see it because the only time it's going to come on is the summer. And hey, I'm 11. I like to go out and find chicks and not watch TV.
I think we're getting a thing, but I don't know how to do it, so I'm going to avoid doing that.
Doing what?
Because Dart is asking me. Also, hello. Dart is asking me to share a video. I don't know how to do it. But may you please share it in my Discord, and then that means we can all see it.
There you go.
And one of my favorite TV programs, I think, is from 2004. And that's called Oz.
Oh, Oz? Jesus.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
You wouldn't think, huh? But it's not very wholesome.
my mom was a church pianist
Mm-hmm.
for like ever since she was a little girl. She actually got to play for like Elvis Presley one time when she was a kid. He came to her town and he was meeting with a bunch of kids in the area that were into music, and she got to play a song for him or something. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
But her and my dad was like a deacon in the church for forever, just very highly devout people. And talking to him one time, my mom said, did you see the new Sopranos? I'm like, what? You watch Sopranos? These are the same people who wouldn't let me go see the movie Cabaret because the women were wearing corsets. That's how strict my parents were. And then they're telling me about how the Sopranos was their favorite show. That just wrecked my mind right there. It's like your grandma saying the F word out of nowhere. Same thing.
I don't think I ever heard my grandma say that, but I would have got the biggest fright ever, her being Jehovah's Witness and all.
Yeah. Well, my grandparents were Free Will Baptist. I mean, women weren't even allowed to wear pants up until like a couple of years ago. Yeah. No dancing, no smooching, holding hands only, stuff like that. So yeah, Free Will Baptist is one of the more strict sects of the Baptist I guess religion. I don't know. But yeah. And then we're playing cards one time. Me and my uncle against my aunt and my grandma. And my grandma drew a card. F word. I looked at my uncle, and he's like, "Yeah, she's doing that now."
Oh my
I'm like,
goodness.
like, what is going on here? So, she's the same lady who washed my mouth out for saying "damn it." So
Funny, huh?
yeah, growing up is weird.
Mm.
It's
We've all got very, very different experiences.
yep, and expectations. I mean,
That's true.
when I was a kid, I mean, you grew up, you got one job, you got a family, you worked that job till you were 60,
Mhm.
and then you retired, you bought a house, yard, dog, couple cars. That's no longer the case. You can't do that
Mm-mm.
anymore.
I quite
3, 4 jobs.
well. You can
Yeah, I mean,
now. It's a lot more freer,
yeah.
and you can kind of do. Sorry, my budgie's going a bit crazy, and she's very much distracting me. She's just running along her perch with for no reason, by the way. But oh, where was I? But yeah, it's a lot more freer now, and seems to be a lot more accepting of many different lifestyles
Yeah, true.
and choices, because
Yeah,
sometimes not every lifestyle's a choice.
yeah. And it's weird because when I was a kid, when I was in high school, or after high school, every job I had to be there at like 6, 8 o'clock in the morning, work till 10 o'clock at night. I moved to a small town here in town, and nobody starts to work until 10, and everything closes like at 6 o'clock. I'm like, where was this town when I was working? When I was first starting out, you know? I would have loved to get up at 9 o'clock and go to work.
Oh,
But yeah, things change. We have to adapt.
I'm being read. Mark is reading me for filth. You thought Sean had ADHD?
Yeah,
Well,
I used to.
you used to?
Hmm.
See, that's not everybody with ADHD gets distracted easily. That's
No.
just one of the many different symptoms of ADHD. But I have dyspraxia, and I never said I didn't have ADHD. I've never been tested for it, so I would not know. But I also have a memory like a goldfish, so that might that's got to be paying for it.
Yeah. Take lots of notes. Make lists. I've learned to do that.
I have to every morning. If I give myself a list of stuff to do, and then I create my daily structure around that. Because at the moment I don't have a full-time job, but I am looking. This is COVID related stuff though.
I find that my lists usually start off with finish yesterday's list.
I relate to that one.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just score it out and then put it on another list.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything about drones we could talk about anymore.
Yeah. See, I don't know
But,
a lot about them, so I'm a little out my depth. I'm not gonna pretend that I know stuff that I don't. Oh, here's a good question. What's something you've always wanted to tell people about drones? Oh.
nothing really. Just I don't. I'm not really wanted to tell people. Just whatever comes into my mind, I guess. Or if they have a question, I'd answer it. But They're
Okay.
cool. Drones are cool.
I
That's
think they're
about
pretty
it.
cool.
These are my goggles that I use.
You have to wear goggles?
Yeah. Oh, well, you can
Sorry.
either wear goggles or you can have like a monitor where you can, look at, see what your drone's doing. This is basically what you'll see through the eyes of the drone, through the camera.
Oh.
And these are mine. So
They look like massive googly eyes. Wait, is that googly eyes?
yeah, those are compulsory. You have to get those.
I like you.
But yeah, what these do is the camera or the screen is here, and there's a mirror here. As a matter of fact, you can see the mirrors.
Is that a badger as well?
That's a squirrel.
A squirrel. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
It's a squirrel.
Aww.
FPV squirrel. What's the oh shoot, where's the stickers? Oh, here they are. Yeah. It's ripping nuts is the sort of double entendre there. But this is basically a periscope. So instead of having the screen right here, the periscope reflects and makes it so that the screen's right here.
Very similar to the one Steve was talking about that creates the diamond shape in the stars. With the telescope.
Maybe.
In astrophotography.
I'm not sure. But this has a mirror here, so it reflects. It hits here, reflects down to this mirror, and then up into your eyes. So you actually have, let's see, like this much space. It actually moves it from being right here to being like out here.
Would that be disorientating? Does it take a little while to figure out how to use them?
Yeah, it is disorienting. Because it's as disorienting as VR when you first start out. Because it's basically what it is. You're seeing through the eyes of something else. So you moving has absolutely nothing to do with it. You want to move the image left or right, but it stays right there.
And you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it is. It's really disorienting, but it's fun. And when I had the original drone, the racing drone, it had a camera too, but the goggles I got were cheap, and the camera was right, or the screen was right here, and I wear glasses. There's no way to put glasses on with these goggles, so everything was blurry, and that's one of the reasons why I got out of it, because I didn't have the money to get a really decent pair of goggles like Fat Shark or DJI. Those are like $300-400. DJI goggles are like $800. But they're well worth it. So then after I sold that drone, they came out with this style, the periscope style, the box style. So I can actually see on it. So that's what made me want to get back into it, was actually being able to use it and have fun with it. If something isn't fun, you just don't do it, I mean, work, you got to do work, but if a hobby isn't fun, like if you sew, you find yourself with a pile of stuff and you just hate like doing it, just don't do it. Get out of that hobby. Pick something else.
I have trouble sticking to the same hobby all the time. And I immerse myself in it feet first, get ridiculously overwhelmed, and then have to put it in my deal with it later box. But I do always go back to my hobbies. I do go back to them. I cycle through a bunch of them.
Furno Raisin has a question.
Yeah, she does.
Going from 6 to 8 propellers, not as good as an improvement. It actually it would be if you have like a heavy lift. Because the more propellers, the more lift you can get for the size of the drone. And adding more motors doesn't add that much more weight. But going from 4 to 6. Also, one of the reasons why I chose a hexacopter is if one motor dies, it can still fly. You can actually take the propeller off one of those motors, and it will fly. You have trouble yawing, turning left and right, because it uses differential spin to move the drone.
Huh.
But I can take one motor off this, and it will still fly. So if one motor dies in the air, or if I run into something and one propeller breaks, it'll still limp its way back home. But if you go to from 6 to 8, just means you either want a cooler looking drone or you want something that'll haul, more gear. But going from 4 to 6 is mainly stability, speed.
Mhm.
You get more speed out of 6 propellers, 6 motors. But 6 to 8, it's when you get that many propellers too, you also get it also gets slower. So you've got more mass to move. There's trade-offs. But I hope that answers the question.
I think it does.
Yeah, better balance.
I see Surf is trying to start some drama here with pineapple and pizza, so we're just going to stroll past that, as well as Mark's not so wholesome question. Just skip to Tina.
Also on four propellers, if one dies, you're done. If one propeller on a quad dies, it's history. It'll crash for sure. If I found a drone outside my window, how can I make it work for me, not having the default controls?
Oh.
You just get a radio. If you know what kind of receiver it is, and if it's a little like toy, actually I do have another drone. It's one I bought. It's just a cheap little $50 deal. It's probably kind of like the one you were talking about.
The TARDIS one?
Yeah. Is this? No, this isn't it. I've got it oh, here it is. Oops. Yeah. This is a Ford DRC. And it's just something I bought to play with, but it's just a little flip out.
It's quite cute, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cutie. And it's got little collapsible propellers. But yeah, something like this, you have to have the controllers that came with it. I've tried connecting this to my radio, but it won't work. But some of these, have a regular flight controller or regular receiver, and they'll hook up with a regular radio. But if you can't make it happen on your radio, and you can pick those radios up for $40-$50. The one I have is a little better model. But you can pick up just a cheap radio that will work well with any drone you use it on, for $50. I want to say.
Hey.
But yeah. But I'd say if you find one outside your bedroom, if it has a number on it, call the number and try and get it back to the person who lost it.
Yeah, I was about to say that. But also, why is it tangled up outside your bedroom window, Tina?
Yeah, that's
That's a little scary.
But a lot of times a drone pilot will lose a drone and just write it off. Because if you lose a drone in a tree somewhere out of line of sight, chances are you won't get it back. So European or African.
Huh?
So if they lose a drone, they just it's history. It's gone. So if they get it
Oh.
back, yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, I'd try and find out who owns it, who lost it, and if you can't find out, it's yours. Finders keepers. Yeah, answering the question. The average airspeed of the unladen drone, African or European? That's the answer. Oops, can't do that here. Yeah, Dora asked a question.
Am I happy I don't understand?
That's it's a Monty Python reference.
Oh. Is that to do with swallows?
Yes. What's the
That
average speed
give
of
me
an
a
unladen
moment.
swallow?
I panicked there for a second. I was like, uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know much about them.
Yeah, Pearlfisher's right. Yeah, they run a 2.4 gigahertz with a pre-encoded digital keys, and they basically link up with. Although I can use my phone to control that one,
Oh.
so it's kind of nice. You have to link it up with a controller, but then the phone will link with the hand controller, so you can actually use it. And you can see that's how you do the FPV with that thing. Is on your phone, you attach it to the controller. It's got a little holder, so you attach it to the controller, and you watch what you're doing.
Tina's give us an update. Oh, believe me, being so close to my bedroom window, I tried finding out who it was.
Oh, I bet she did.
Oh my goodness, Tina.
Yeah.
Are we gonna have to find a way of finding this person and hunting them down and giving them, shall we say, a strong talking to?
Well, you can do one or two things. You can either give it back to them, or you can tell them, either you let me have it and you teach me how to use it, or I'll turn you into the police.
I
for peeping
mean,
Tomery.
or we just, or we find them and we do not so wholesome content to him.
Mhm.
I've watched plenty of episodes of stuff that's not so wholesome to talk about. I know my stuff.
Hunt them down. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no excuse
Blackmail,
for peeping
says
toms.
Dora.
Of course, it could have been an accident too.
That's true. It could have been.
So-
They could have been flying over the house and then it broke.
Yeah. So now, if you start finding a bunch of them, I'd worry.
Oh, yes. And little drill holes in your door and stuff. Uh-oh. Not so wholesome territory here. I blame myself for that one, though. So, do you have an end goal for your drone? Like, is it done once you're finished?
Yeah, pretty much. There's always upgrades to gear. New receiver comes out, or a new transmitter. Like there's a long distance module. The ones that come with them, they're good up to like a half a kilometer, maybe. But then you can get long distance stuff like Team Black Sheep has a module out that'll let you go 4 miles. I mean, extremely long distances. There was a guy that had one of those flying wings, like it's a plane, and he finally lost it. He finally crashed into the ocean, but he went from one Hawaiian island to the other and back.
Oh, wow.
In one flight, and streamed it on his channel. You could actually see the video and just fly with this drone from one Hawaiian island to the other. It's pretty fascinating. And the batteries lasting that long are amazing too. This battery I've got here will last maybe maybe 20 minutes.
Does it give you like a warning before it plummets?
Yeah. You set up timers. You have to you want to calibrate your battery to find out how much, how much power it has, and then you don't really want to go under like 3.94 volts on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Each cell or with a whole battery, because it will just wreck if a lithium ion battery gets too low, it won't charge back up again. It's just the way the chemistry is. So you can wreck a battery. So yeah, you want to have a timer. You can actually set it automatically so it will return home or land or whatever if it's draining too much power. So yeah. Like if I get 15 minutes, yeah. Yeah, it depends on what battery you use, what equipment you have, your FPV gear, how much amperage that stuff draws, the weight of the drone, how many motors you have, the discharge rate of the battery. There's a lot of stuff to take into account. And I'm not good at electronics, so I'm having to learn a lot of new stuff.
Well, it must be fun learning so much, despite being potentially overwhelming.
Yeah, it is overwhelming. Right now, I can't. When I arm the thing, I don't have I don't have it set up completely in the flight computer on a PC, so I have to do that. Right now, when I arm the motors and I give them a little throttle, they start off real fast. Mm-hmm. And if I move the throttle up to center, they stop.
Oh, that's
so it's somehow it's set for center throttle. So when I push up from center, it goes forward. And if I pull back from center, it goes down. It's what you'd use for a helicopter. That's the collective for a helicopter. So it's basically set up for a helicopter, and I have to change the parameters for it to be a drone, because a drone, you want it to start off 0 throttle all the way back, and then you give it throttle and it climbs, and halfway is your hovering. So if you have your throttle halfway, it'll just stay at a constant hover. So I have to reteach it, and there's steps I have to go through, and it's a nightmare. So yeah.
See, that's why mine's is like resin art and coloring rocks and stuff like that. Well, coloring rocks is not. Painting rocks and coloring and adult coloring in books.
Right on.
I like to use that for mindfulness, but that's why it's overwhelming.
I always wanted to get into acrylic pour. That looked really fun with the silicone oil. And you get the cells, and that's pretty bad.
I do really want to do that too, but I don't think I have enough space to get messy.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of space.
But I mean, I could do it in the kitchen, just use a mop and a brush. But I just got a resin set to start making like dog collars and stuff.
Oh, cool.
Well, not collars, but the little attachments. That's kind of what I wanted to do. Make lots of like cute little dog collars and give them to my friends.
Right on. Yeah, when I was in grade school, my folks bought me it was a resin chess set kit.
Ooh.
And it had like rubber molds for all the chess pieces, and you mixed up the epoxy and poured it in there, and it took a day. Wasn't an intense hobby, but yeah, it was fun when you peel this stuff off. You had nice, clear, different color chess pieces, and I mean, they were this tall. The king was this big. Pawns were like that big, so it was a nice size chessboard.
Hefty chessboard. Did you do them with different colors and stuff? Like
I did it.
Stuff in them.
One, it was pre-colored. You had that color you could add to it. So one side was white and the other side was black. So just standard chess colors.
I've seen chess pieces on Etsy and stuff that's like that, but they've got different shades of one color of flower. Example, one side would be like different blue flowers in resin.
Oh yeah.
And then the other one would be different red flowers in resin.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That was pretty neat.
Yeah. Absolutely. Mark Caesar.
Yeah. I was like, we
sort of battery life. probably pretty big, probably pretty big batteries,
Would
either
that be
lithium
really
ion
heavy?
or yeah, but they'd have to. There's a lot of amperage drawn, a lot of drain or draw on the battery, a lot of load. The batteries I want to eventually get into making are I don't have any batteries right here, but for instance, a 4,000 amp hour battery is about this big, about that thick, about that big square, about that long,
Is
and
it
they're
pretty
pretty heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they weigh a pound or two, depending
Oh,
on how big they are, and
that-
maybe get 35, 40 minutes out of it. What I want to do is start welding up my own battery packs using
oh.
using the batteries using 18650 batteries, kind that go in a lot of the newer stuff. And for one good 5,000 milliamp hour battery will cost you about $100. But if I buy my
Oh.
own batteries made
Uh-huh.
with 26700s, which are used in Teslas,
Mhm.
they're bigger, fatter. I can do a battery that's gives me twice as much power, or lasts longer, lasts twice as long, with more amperage, higher voltage, for about a quarter of the cost.
He'll be going, wee.
So I can make two. I can make two. I can either buy two 6 series 1 parallel battery, which is
Mhm.
basically 6 cells, right? Or I can make a 6 series 2 parallel, which would be 12 batteries, but they're in
Oh.
parallel. So it's just 6 more powerful batteries, 6 twice as powerful batteries for
Um,
half the price. So I've got something that's almost 4 times as powerful, lasts more than twice as long. It costs half the price or more. So about $50 for each. So yeah. Yeah, load balancer. Yeah, it'll have a load balancer built in. You get a battery module or a charging module, and you include that in there. But yeah, you have to hook up the balance leads. I don't have one right here.
and be
But
super
yeah,
careful.
the balance lead basically just lets you know what each cell is charging at.
Mhm.
So it has a wire going to each cell, or each cell, so you know that it balances the charge between each cell.
And as long as you're very careful.
Oh yeah, yeah.
See
Oh,
the
and pearlfish,
skeptical
yes,
face?
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, you can easily start a fire if you don't know what you're doing. Yeah, and
Safety first.
they don't just get warm. I mean, a battery like a lithium ion or a lipo, they just don't get warm. They blow up. I mean, they will
See,
get warm if you short them out just for a second. You'll feel them, but man, once they go, it's fire. They're
my
very dangerous.
dad had I don't know which type of battery they are, so but they were a battery for inside his vape,
Yeah.
and he put one in his pocket, and the two coins touched either end of it, and his legs started to burn and feel really hot. So then he took it out of his pocket and he realized what was happening, and it was burning. So he launched it and it exploded. He did
Yeah.
it just in time.
Yeah, they are dangerous. They are dangerous. I've got an actual. It's called a lipo box or a lipo bag, and it's a
Lipo.
battery bag. It's a Velcro closed, basically fireproof bag, and
Good.
that's where I keep all my batteries. So in case they do short out or something happens to them,
Mm-hmm.
they it'll be contained.
Oh.
So yeah, they're no joking. They're no joke.
No,
They
they're
will.
scary.
Yeah, it's fun if you have an old one. Just take a hammer and drive a nail through it. Watch it get all big and catch fire.
I used to get really scared of my vape batteries since then that
Yeah.
happened. But I'm lucky I managed to quit smoking and vaping during COVID. Why I thought it was the least stressful time to do it, I don't know. But
I know. I work for a guy. He was not a pleasure to work with. He had recently just quit smoking and drinking.
uh-oh.
Yeah.
But also good for him for doing that.
Yes, absolutely.
But it would not have been very fun being around him for a little while.
No, he was yeah, he was a little edgy,
Yeah, I can
a little short
imagine.
tempered.
Oh, Slim popped in the side chat, and I suppose he's probably been here lurking, the sweetheart. But he said game night in an hour, and then sent the link to his channel. So for whoever wants to take part in the game night, do go to Slim's channel in about an hour to do so. I just wanted to be clear, and I don't know if I will be on this time because I think me and Tusk are having movie date night tonight because we weren't able to do it on either of our birthdays. So we're gonna do that tonight, I believe.
Cool.
But everybody else, please do go. It'll be a good bunch of fun. Oh, you're a non. Wait, Little Wolf's here. Hello.
Was the brown thing on my wall?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I was trying to figure out exactly what Dora was meaning,
What?
but my
That thing?
eyesight's not very good.
That's it's a tapestry. It's a wall hanging. Someone wove it here in town. It's hand woven. It's two camels. The
Oh, yeah.
here's their two legs here, backwards. So and then there's a person standing in between, and there's one head, one neck, and there's the other one.
I see that now.
And then there's two riders. There's a rider. Here, hold on.
Oh. Show and tell time, huh?
There's one camel, and there's a rider.
Oh.
Dromedaries. There's the person in the middle, and just there's the back of it.
That's pretty cool. Does it have a special significant meaning for you that you're willing to share? If you don't, all right, okay.
No, I was just at the I was at a fiber arts fair, I guess, and I saw it and I liked it. It was only like $1.
It is nice.
But that thing there, actually, right there is something I wove on my loom when I had it. I used to have a weaving loom.
See, there's so many hobbies.
I used to spin.
Did you?
Yeah, I like spinning. I like spinning yarn. It's fun. I made a couple skeins of yarn. I knew a person in Australia, and they like to knit, so I had some yarn that I spun, and I wanted to send it to them. It was one skein of yarn, 50 grams, and it was going to cost $60 to send to Australia. Yeah, it's not cheap.
No.
Shipping to Australia is just it's a crime. It really is.
I've got family there, and it is painful.
Yeah, it costs a lot of stuff. That's why their road train is so popular, because that's the only way people get their goods. I mean, inexpensively. I wanted to be a road train driver too for a while. Thought that'd be cool, driving a six car truck. 6-trailer truck. That would be fun.
Oh, there's loads of stuff we're learning about you today.
Yep. But yeah, spinning's fun. Weaving is fun. I used to weave my own denim. Try doing that.
Wow.
Works. And I'd show this to other weavers, and they're like, or I'd show it to other people, they're like, you wove that? I'm like, yeah, you made denim. I mean, people look at jeans and they don't realize that something had to weave that fabric. That's actually fabric that requires weaving. You know, spinning the yarn, and people they just miss that. They don't have that connection.
I think it's because it's hard to see the little bits that shows it's being weaved, if you know what I mean. Like, because it seems like just a flat surface, but it needed to be weaved together to be so seamless the way they are.
It's like people don't equate bacon coming from animals or beef, or they just think it's something to find in the store. They don't have any idea of where it came from. And a lot of people looked at it and they were like, I didn't know people could do that. I mean, you look at denim and nobody weaves their own denim except for a couple people. I was one of them. There was a factory and a jeans company in Japan that they weave their own denim in-house on repurposed, what do you call it, the gowns they wear,
which
kimono.
ones?
It's an old kimono loom, and
that's pretty neat.
They repurposed it to weave denim, and the employees of the store, they take turns sitting behind there and they weave the denim by hand. I mean, there's no automation. They have to string up the loom. They have to do everything. And then when they get a roll of denim like this big around, they make jeans, and those jeans cost $2,000 a pair. Momo jeans, I think they're called, and they're expensive. They're for the jeans aficionados.
I would like to look at them.
The guys that wear the pant legs rolled up with the color stripe up the up the sides from the selvage edge, and they have the straight sides.
Also known as the bisexual jean, the rolled up pant jean,
or hipster douchebag jeans.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and those people pay. I mean, Levi's, to get a custom pair of jeans made at Levi's are $700 starting. So people pay a lot of money for like old style, quality jeans, and that was my goal. But I couldn't find the cotton for an inexpensive enough amount of money to make it, economically viable. I eventually wanted to do what Momo does in Japan and weave my own denim, make jeans from it, and sell them for a lot of money, like $500 a pair.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even try and compete with Levi, but yeah, that's what I wanted to do. But I couldn't find the materials at an economically feasible price, so I gave it up.
Could you not find them in charity shops and stuff like that?
Well, it takes a specific kind of denim or specific kind of yarn. You want a ring spun yarn, which basically they take the yarn and then they spin really tight a wrapping around that, and that's where you get that tight, that real stiff thread. And it's one of the reasons why denim wears, because when you dye the yarn, if you dye it with indigo, it only affects the outside of the each thread. If you cut a piece of denim yarn, it will be white on the inside. It'll be like a blue ring, because the indigo can't. It gets into the fabric, but it only turns blue when air hits it, when oxygen hits it. You have to deoxify the indigo to make it water soluble and make it smaller enough to get into the fibers. And then when light hits it, it reoxifies it, brings in an oxygen atom or molecule, which makes it too big to get out of the fiber. So it sort of locks it in place. And you get that surface look. So that's why they fade so well, because it's just the outside getting rubbed off and you get the nice little white interior. But I just couldn't find the yarn for cheap enough. Except if I wanted to buy a pallet of it, like from China, I could buy a pallet of yarn for about $1,000, but I just didn't have that much money to spend on capital.
Yeah.
But I could have done it. I mean, it's easy to weave. It really is.
I have not tried my hand at it. I always thought it would be fun and somewhat therapeutic.
You can start off. You don't need a weaving loom. You can actually start off by doing a stick weaving, the way like Navajo, like Indians do, the American Indians.
The indigenous people of America.
You get a stick with a band, like a strap on it that goes behind your back, and that's your beam. And then you get another stick with a strap attached to it where you can tie it around a tree or a doorknob or a hook or whatever. And then you run your warp up, around those two sticks, and you get it all even. And then you have another stick that you weave through, and then another stick you weave through. And depending on which stick you pull up, you weave the sticks in opposite. So you've got like all the even number of threads up on this stick and all the even number of threads down on this stick. So when you pick this one up, you're picking half of the threads up, and that's your hole. And then when you pick the other one up, it crosses it, right? And see, that's how you get your weave. So you can do it it takes sticks and yarn. That's all it does. There's no special, metal heddles or foot pedals to mess with, and you can do it anywhere. When you get tired of weaving, you just unattach it, wrap it up, and then stick it in your pack. And yeah,
that's pretty cool. Kind of like my Nana with her knitting, huh?
Yeah,
she just picks it up and puts it in her bag.
I've seen people just like go out to the park every day and they just take out their weaving, they tie it to a tree, sit there and throw their stuff. Yeah, it's neat. And you can make some really, really nice stuff. I mean, it's how Indian blankets are made. I've done a few hobbies.
See, we need to have another hobby corner with you and go into more depth about all of your hobbies, huh?
Yeah, I've had a few. I'm a Zen hobbyist. Once I get bored with a hobby, I'll move on. But I think I'll stick with the drone. I think I'll stick with the drones.
See, thank you, Tina, for reminding everybody it's a family-friendly thing in the side chat, huh? Naughty side chat. And Ox is late, but he did swim very far.
And I am a man of many trades. I in the 90s or in earlier this century, I guess, in the early 20s, I spent pretty much all my time trying to learn new things. That was when everything was supposed to hit the fan and everything was going to go belly up. So I learned as many things as I possibly could to benefit whatever tribe I join with when everything goes to hell. So, it was kind of like a prepper thing, but I was prepping to be useful to a tribe rather than prepping for, survival gear.
Well, we have to kidnap you here then. You can
so I learned, blacksmithing, weaving, knitting, sewing, cooking, making fire, building cabins, farming, animal husbandry. So I basically learned everything like
Mhm.
a settler would have to know
Hmm.
to survive. I actually,
Okay.
when I was
So.
dying in indigo, when I learned that,
Mhm.
I found that it's not a new thing. It's one of the original oldest dyes in the world.
And
That
was that
and
not
that
the?
and crustacean seashells, where you get the
Mhm.
blue or the
It was.
purple dye.
Yeah, I
And
was just about to say that.
one of the one of the ways they did it was you have to have a deoxifier. Thiox is a good one. Sugar is a good one. Sugar deoxifies stuff. Urine is another one.
Uh
Yeah. So I read up on it, found out how they did it.
oh.
So I took a 5-gallon bucket, and
Uh
every
oh.
time I had to go wee, I went out to the garage and I peed in a bucket.
Oh
And when I had
my.
5 gallons, I took indigo. It was it was pre-processed indigo. I didn't have to start with leaves. I basically
Uh
took the
huh.
crystals. They were prepared, and I put that in the bucket, and it worked perfectly. So it was basically a proof of concept to see, if they actually could dye clothes that well.
Mhm.
And this jacket used to be white, used to be faded white denim, and this was dyed with indigo and urine,
Oh.
and no smell.
Oh. Well, that's
It
nice.
washes
It
out.
doesn't have any smell. Yeah,
Yeah, I was worried.
I got
I
the
was,
fear there when you sniffed it. I was like, oh.
yeah, yeah, I was worried. And
Um.
people talk about having a bad job. That would be about the worst job in
That
the
doesn't
world,
sound very fun, but
because the kids that like the apprentices or journeymen, it was their job to go around to all the houses and collect their pee. I mean, that's what they did back in like the 1600s. Is they didn't have plumbing, so they if they had a dyer, a dyeing house, they
oh
would
my.
pee in a bucket, and the guy would come along, and he was the piss boy, and he dumped the buckets. And
Oh
then he'd go
dear.
back there and give the liquid to his master, and they'd
Mhm.
use that in the trade. But yeah, that was just how communities cooperated and helped each other.
Um, I do think it's pretty much time to start wrapping up soon
Okay,
because I know some will be starting soon. But that has been very, very interesting. I did
it's been
not know
fun.
that about pea and indigo. So
Yeah,
we now know this. Um, but on a not related to that, it's time, I believe, that we should start wrapping up.
right.
Hmm?
Sir Little Wolf, I agree with you. Um, Talking about like the current environment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I I smoke, so I cough a lot, and I want to get a T-shirt that says, "No, it's not COVID,
I'm
it's
a
a
cougher.
cold.
Hmm.
It's smoking.
Yeah.
Don't run away from me because I'm coughing."
My mom
Anyway,
has
good.
COPD, so she coughs pretty hard.
Oh, I have
And
two.
she's got, well, she gets her 6 feet plus space that she needs. So, but is there any last questions? Yep, it's 30 minutes until until Slim's gaming stream with everybody on it. And while we're waiting for a couple of seconds for any last questions, was there anything you would like to share, Sean?
No,
Shall I do
no,
your
I think I'm
shilling?
good.
Check
Um,
out Sean's channel.
Pipero, they also use brains. Every animal in the animal kingdom has enough brain in their head to tan their own hide.
Oh my.
Yeah, yeah. The brain has tannin, and the tannin uh, preserves the hide. Yeah.
If you didn't know, I'm looking at the budgie just now,
Oh.
thinking about it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm
Little-
just thinking about it. No, I
Buzz
wouldn't.
it.
I like her
Little
too much.
budgie pot holder.
No, as much as it's funny, I would like to keep her. Could we start
Those were
again
fun.
since some of you arrived towards the end? We would start again, but it's some stream next, and we would like you to go there. And Little Wolf, we did start late, so you might have totally missed us if it wasn't for StreamYard not being our friend at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
So you should be happy that you even made it.
But I had
And-
fun. This was
Ah,
fun.
I've had a lot of fun having you. Tina very thankfully put Sean's channel's link in the side chat for you. So go subscribe to him if you haven't.
Definitely not safe for work, though.
Not wholesome content over there. And Slim's stream is linked in the side chat as well. And if anybody would like to come on and have fun with me, not next week because we already have a special guest booked in, but the week after, which is free. So, or any Sunday you're free, send me a message or join my Discord wherever that is. That was somewhere. Don't know. I still need to learn how to internet, frankly. And there you go. You got Mark and Sir Little Wolf sub to you.
Oh, very good. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Would you like to maybe share for those who may not know what you do? It's okay. You're allowed. It's okay.
No, not really.
Oh,
Just-
no.
I'm out of words.
Okay. Well, we shall start saying goodbye. I would like to add the first person Pip ever subbed to in the community. That's what Pip's saying. And Pearlfish has subbed to both of us. Thank you. Tina
Thank you,
sent
Pip.
my Discord in the side chat. So if anybody wants to join that. And that's where you can contact me about being on Hobby Corner. Oh, and Pip is saying you look very sexy clean shaven.
Yeah, I need to cut all this off here. Probably do that today. I'm lazy. It gets too much. So.
And Dora says it was really great hearing something so personal from you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, this is what the stream's all about. And we're just gonna figure out how to internet for a second here. Sorry, bear with me, everybody. Budgie sound in the background. We shall do a little bit of this. So thank you everybody for watching. Join some stream, have fun, drink, be merry. Oh, there we go. Be kind, look after everybody. And that's a wrap. Bye-bye. Would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye. Thanks for watching, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
I was a little premature on the cigarette